The Warhammer universe is a great setting for video games, and a big action RPG seems like a good fit for the setting. But then again, Space Hulk seemed like a good idea, and that was pretty toilet. You play as an Inquisitor, an hard-as-fuck geezer who kills things humanity doesn't like. I think anyway, I don't know much about Warhammer. You are investigating a mysterious ship called the Martyr that has appeared again after centuries of being lost. Yes, that is a generic setup, but it does go some interesting places. The plot I found to actually be alright. I thought it would be grim, stoic, manly men being all righteous and that, which is definitely in there, but I was surprised by the mystery in the plot and wanted to know what was going on, even though I know nothing about Warhammer. Though I do feel like I would have got more out of the story if I knew about the source material. I mean, I don't know what the Adaptus Mechanicus is, and the game never told me. There was loads of terminology thrown about that I had no clue about. But knocking a game down for using its established in-universe terminology doesn't seem fair. The gameplay will be quite familiar to anyone who has played a top-down action RPG before. You mow down legions of naughty demons and get loot. Skills, though, are tied to your equipment rather than your character class. If you've played Guild Wars 2, it's like that. Even your armour has one of 3 skills attached to it. For my bloke, it was either a jump jet, turret, or missile launcher. I know I said character classes earlier, but the game doesn't really have them. The class you pick at the start only unlocks some specific skill trees from the go. For example, I picked the melee tank, so I unlock the melee and defense oriented trees straight away. But what is interesting is other skill trees can be unlocked, like ranged combat, by doing the objective tied to them, like do 500,000 range damage. This unlocks so many build possibilities. You could start off as a melee tank and think F this and be a heavy weapons specialist. And there is plenty of opportunities to experiment with different weapons to see what you like. Another cool idea is the tarot card system, which lets you decide what kind of loot you want to be rewarded with and other modifiers. A good idea, because this game seemed obsessed with giving me flamethrowers on normal missions. All of this stuff goes towards creating a core gameplay loop that is satisfying. The loot is neither abundant or scarce, leveling can take a bit too long, but others might like that. The story unfolds at a good pace, and there are loads of side missions that rotate daily. Sadly though, with all these interesting systems behind it, the gameplay falls apart once you get into the combat. For starters, the targeting is fucking awful. I had so many instances where I wanted to run up and twat a demon, but my character was more interested in operating a nearby switch or prioritised a target that was miles away compared to the massive walking tank that was in front of me shredding my arsehole. And the frame rate is dog shit. Once the combat kicks off, the game just can't seem to handle all the enemies and their particle effects at once, which makes the game a massive clusterfuck. You have loads of enemies using different weapons, swinging tentacles about and exploding into chunks when they die, and you're meant to be able to locate yourself in all the mess whilst the frame rate is going like a PowerPoint. Some of the systems in the game are a bit broken as well. The game often wants you to equip gear that has shitter stats, but because it has a higher item number attached to it, it is considered better, therefore increasing your overall power rating. So that shit needs balancing out. When the tutorials pop up, sometimes the PC keys appear rather than the controller prompts. When other characters talk to you over the radio, it plays out of the PS4 controller and it sounds pure poo. Also, the back of the box says this game is open world, when it quite simply isn't. Feels like they just put the buzzword on the back of the box to sell more copies, even though this game is completely fine not being an open world. The multiplayer works, sort of. The story missions are single player only, but the multiplayer is laggy as fuck. This footage you're seeing isn't YouTube fucking up, and you can't do specific missions, you just matchmake and get dumped into something random. It would have been much better just having a simple drop-in, drop-out multiplayer component like Diablo 3's. And you have to be online to play the game, even in single player. We have had plenty of examples of why an always online connection for single player is a stupid idea, but to be fair to Martyr, I have not been disconnected once. It's a bit sad because there is a great game here underneath all the technical problems. The amount of content is insane. Maybe in a few months it will be in a playable state, so I would hold off for now. I had fun with it, but then again, I'm a massive nonce.